Hello, this is Dr. Bricker with A Healthcare Z. Today's topic is healthcare customer service. It's terrible. And why is that? So health insurance customer service is really bad. How bad is it? It is so bad that Forrester research says that health insurance customer service is ranked 15th out of 19 industries. And it even names specific health insurance companies that have particularly poor customer service. And those are, according to Forrester, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas and Illinois, Blue Shield of California, CareFirst Blue Cross, and then it talks about the big four too. Anthem, United Healthcare, Cigna, and Aetna all have very poor customer service according to Forrester. Now, on the hospital side, it's not any better. In fact, customer service when it comes to hospital bills is so bad that 40% of surveyed patients say that they have skipped care just to avoid the complexity of the hospital bills. And what do I mean by skipping care? Specifically in this survey, they are skipping preventative care and screening. So in other words, the exact type of care that would prevent people from going into the hospital in the first place or in a much sicker state, they're not doing because they're afraid of the horrible billing customer service. So now, the question is, okay, why hasn't this improved? This has been going on for decades. Like, are health insurance companies and hospitals just completely incompetent when it comes to customer service? I would argue, no, that's not it at all. The reason why health insurance and hospital customer service is so bad is because they don't need to have good customer service. I believe that poor customer service is a calculated business decision on the part of, especially for health insurance companies and for hospitals around their patient financial services or around their billing offices. Okay, look at the stock prices for Anthem, United, Cigna, and Aetna. They've been going through the roof with horrible customer service. So as an organization, they need to make decisions about how they're going to be spending their time and their money and their technology and their resources. They could solve their member customer service problem if they wanted to, but the point is that they've looked at that and they've said, you know what? It's not a good return on investment. And you know what? The market has said, you're right. Investing in good customer service is not a good return on investment because their stock price is going through the roof without having any good customer service. Because at the end of the day, the patient and the end member is not really the customer of the health insurance company, right? Okay, now, in regards to hospitals, they could solve this problem too, but they don't. And in fact, I don't think anybody at a hospital is going out of their way and saying, hey, let's really provide horrible customer service. But they're neglecting it. And by neglecting it, it actually generates more business for them and more revenue for them because people are skipping out on screening and preventative care. What does that mean? That means they get sicker and they actually need more hospital services. So not fixing billing customer services actually generates more business for the hospital. Now again, I don't necessarily think that's a conscious decision, but that's what's happening. Okay, now let's talk about organizations that do have amazing customer service. Companies like Zappos that sells shoes online, and Nordstrom, and Ritz-Carlton. Okay, so obviously these organizations have been able to solve for outstanding customer service. Now, are these folks any quote-unquote smarter than the people that work at hospitals or health insurance companies? No, of course not. But the point is that their business models require good customer service. Why is that? Because they're consumer businesses, because they're direct to consumers. Health insurance is a B2B service. With the exception of Obamacare plans and Medicare Advantage, health insurance is a business-to-business sale. The true customer of the health insurance company is the HR, CFO, et cetera, et cetera. It is not the end employee. It is not the end user. That's why they can get away with this behavior. Okay, now, and then as far as the hospital goes, all of these businesses, shoes, retail, hotels, hospitality, it requires repeat business. And so they have to provide good customer service because they have to get repeat business. For hospitals, so much of their service is episodic. And so they know that they're not going to have their patient come back for months or even years or even maybe ever. So to a certain extent, if they burn bridges with a horrible billing experience, they still have people coming into the ER. They still have physicians referring them in for tests and procedures. And so really the customer of the hospital is the physician and making them happy. It's not necessarily making the patient happy. So it's gotten totally watered down. Okay, so there are business-to-consumer businesses that have horrible customer service, like moving. The moving business has horrible customer service because it's hugely episodic, very similar to healthcare, especially in employee healthcare, right? Because they're younger, they don't use as many healthcare services, so they might get walloped and have a huge healthcare service, but then they don't come back for years. Whereas with like the Medicare Advantage folks, they tend to have more repeat services. So again, especially in the employer space, the hospital's really not incentivized to provide good billing customer service. Okay, so now that dynamic is structural. And I would argue that there's probably a greater than 95% chance that that will never change. That because of the structural way the industry is set up, that health insurance and hospital customer service will probably never get better. Now, that was the basis for healthcare navigation, healthcare advocacy firms like Compass. Like the reason that Compass exists is because health insurance companies and hospitals are so bad at customer service. Likewise, there are healthcare startups like Devoted Health, which is a Medicare Advantage plan that is started by Todd Park, who worked in the Obama administration. He started Athena Health as well. It's huge, and they've got a huge board of directors. They got Bill Frist, they got Kathleen Sebelius, right? The central tenet of Devoted Healthcare is that they're going to provide fantastic customer service. Likewise, Oscar, it's an Obamacare plan. Like the whole reason that Oscar was started was because their CEO, Mario Schlosser, had a horrible customer service experience with United Healthcare. And he's like, this is awful. And so he literally started a health insurance company to provide great customer service, which makes sense, right? Because they don't even sell to companies. They sell to individuals on the Obamacare exchange, right? So, like, there are existing solutions today that are trying to fix the customer service dynamic. And I would argue that for health insurance and for hospitals, the reason why we were successful at Compass, the reason why Devoted is successful, the reason why Oscar is successful, what is good customer service? What is good customer service? It is owning it. It is owning the patient, the member, the customer's problem. You own the problem. You take the problem, you say you own it, and then you fix it. Okay? What happens when you contact health insurance customer service and hospital customer service? They avert responsibility as much as humanly possible. That has been my experience. That has been the experience of everyone who has talked to me, is that they always are pointing a finger at somebody else. They don't own the problem. Zappos owns the problem. They've empowered their employees to own the problem. Nordstrom owns the problem. They've empowered their employees to own the problem. Ritz-Carlton owns the problem. They've empowered their employees to own the problem. With health insurance and hospital customer service, that has not happened at all. And so, to a certain extent, that's why I'm so excited around direct primary care, on-site, near-site clinics, virtual care, because it just completely avoids the system. So at Compass, we tried to fix the system, but there's another alternative, which is just to stay outside of it completely and not have to interact with your health insurance company, to not have to interact with the hospital, and still you can get care without interacting with these folks. You can. And that's why health insurance customer service is the way that it is. And that's my point for today. Thank you for watching A Healthcare Z.